Okay, now we're going to talk about dividing with zeros. Dividing with zeros is really easy too, if you have something that goes in evenly. So for example, let's say that I have this, which, remember, this is 810 divided by 9, not 9 divided by 810. For this to work, your divisor has to go into the part of your dividend evenly. So like, for example, 9 goes into 81 exactly 9 times, and there's none left over. So because 9 times 9 is 81, I can just stop there and just bring that 0 up. So 810 divided by 9 would just be 90. And we can actually use what we learned about multiplying with zeros to check ourselves. 9 times 90, we just learned 9 times 9 is 81, and we just have to add that 0 at the end. And yep, 9 times 90 is 810, so we were correct. Let's do another example. Okay, I would read this division problem as 8,100 divided by 9. And again, 9 goes into 81 evenly, exactly 9 times. And since there's nothing left except zeros, all I have to do is just bring those zeros up. Because if I actually worked it all out, I would say, okay, 9 times 9 is 81, I subtract, I get 0, 9 goes into 0 0 times, blah, 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 and I would just end up getting 900. So if we get it into 81, if we get it to go in evenly and there's nothing left over and it's just zeros after that, we don't have to do all that step. We can just bring the zeros up. However, if I have a problem such as 820 divided by 9, this is not going to work because 9 and 82, it goes in there 9 times, but not exactly 9 times. 9 times 9 is 81. There's actually 10 left over. So if I did 9 times, 9 and 90, 9 times 90 is going to be 810. So that does not work. Okay, I can only do that if it goes in evenly, because over here I'd have to subtract, and I would get, let's see, a 1 there, and 9 times 1 is 9. I subtract, and I get 1 left over. So I'd actually have 91, remainder 1. So I couldn't just bring up the 0 if it doesn't go in there exactly perfect. Okay, my next problem is 360 divided by 6. And I know that 6 can go into 36 perfect because 6 times 6 is 36, and there's nothing left over. So instead of keeping up with my long division, I can actually just bring that 0 right up. And my answer is 60 times 6 is 360, so 360 divided by 6 is 60. So, and I can check that knowing what I just learned about multiplication with zeros. And 6 times 6 is 36, and I have 1 0 left over, so yep, 60 times 6 is 360. Okay, this one can be a little bit trickier. We see 400 divided by 5. So we want to think, okay, we're going to have 2 zeros, but I look, and 5 does not go into 4, but 5 does go into 40. And 5 goes into 40 exactly 8 times. So there's nothing above this 4. We can just put a 0 there to hold that spot. And since it does go in there evenly, I can go ahead and just bring that 0 up. And so my answer would be 80. 400 divided by 5 is 80. And I can use what I know about those zeros, or multiplying with zeros, to check my answer. 80 times 5. Okay, 8 times 5 is 40. And I have 1 0 left over, so yep, 80 times 5 is 400. That means I did my division correctly. Okay, let's do another example. Okay, 560 divided by 6. I think, okay, well, 6 goes into 6 exactly 1 time. And since it goes in there perfectly, and the only thing that's left is a 0, I can just bring that 0 up and get 10. And of course, 10 times 6 is 60, so that means I was correct. Okay, let's say that now I have a bigger number like 5,600 divided by 7. Well, I think 7 doesn't go into 5, but it does go into 56, and it goes in there perfectly because I know that 7 times 8 is 56. So I'm just going to put that 8 there, and since there's nothing left over but zeros, I can just bring those zeros right on up. So that's saying 5,600 divided by 7 is 800. And again, I can use what I know about multiplying with zeros to check to see if I'm correct. 8 times 7 is 56, and then I've got 1, 2 zeros left over. So yep, I got 5,600. I was right. Now we're going to talk about if there's zeros in the divisor and dividend. Okay, say I have 630 divided by 70. I can actually just, really, if there is a zero in the divisor and dividend, I can cancel them out. As long as I cancel 1 out in the divisor, I cancel out 1 in the dividend. So now my problem really just says 63 divided by 7. And 63 divided by 7 is 9. And I can actually use, again, like I've been talking about, what I know about multiplying with zeros to check myself. So when I multiply to check myself, I'm going to use that original 70 times 9. And I know 7 times 9 is 63, and I had 1 0 left over, so yep. It is the 630. I was correct. So let's say that we have another problem similar to that. Let's say that we have 6,300 divided by 70. Now there are zeros in both the dividend and the divisor, but if I cross 1 out in the divisor, I have to cross out 1 in the dividend. So I can cross 1 out here and I can cross 1 out here, but I can't cross out that other 0 because I'm not crossing 1 out in the divisor. Okay, so I have to leave that there. If I cross out 2 over here, I have to cross out 2 over here. So I know that 7 goes into 63 9 times, and there's 1 0 left over, so I just bring it up and I get 90. So again, I can check myself. You can always check your division with multiplication. So I'm going to multiply the quotient times the divisor. So let's see, 70 times 90. 7 times 9 is 63. And then I had 1, 2, 3 zeros. Or I'm sorry. I have 1, 2 zeros. So 1, 2. And yep, I got 6,300, so I was correct. Okay, now I'm going to say 6,300 divided by 700. Well, I noticed that there is a 0 here I can cross out, and there. Okay, and they both have another 0, so I can cross them out again. So really I'm just now doing 63 divided by 7, which is 9. And there's no zeros to carry over, or just to bring up. So I can check my work. 700 times 9. 7 times 9 is 63. And then I had 1, 2 zeros over there that I just carry over. So yep, 6,300. I was correct. Okay, now I have 400 divided by 50. I notice they both have a 0 in the dividend and divisor, so I can cancel them out. And 5 doesn't go into 4, but it goes into 40 8 times. So, and there's no zeros to bring over or to bring up, so I'm just done. And I can check my division by multiplying 50 times 8. And if I did my division correctly, I should get 400. So let's see. 5 times 8 is 40. That is correct. And then I've just got 1 0 left over that I bring it over, and yep, 400. I was correct. Okay, now I'm going to do 4,000 divided by 500. Okay, so for every 0 that they both have, I can cancel it out. So cancel out 1 there. Can I cancel any more out? Yes, I can. So now I'm left with 40 divided by 5, just like I was earlier. So 40 divided by 5 is 8. All these zeros over here have been canceled out, so I don't even look at them. So my answer to 4,000 divided by 500 is just 8. And I can check by doing 500 times 8. And I know that 5 times 8 is 40. And then I had 2 zeros left over from right here. So I'm just going to move over there. And I get 4,000. So yep, I was right. So those are just some tricks to help you with dividing with zeros, just to make life a little bit simpler.